All right, we are back. This is K-Talk Radio, 1640 AM. This is the show, Utah Home Sweet Home. I am your host, Yoshi Shiraki, and Jonathan Garcia is our special guest. Happy 4th of July, everyone, and it's time for the Nightmare Story. So, Jonathan, if you don't mind sharing with us what you have prepared to share with us.
Yeah.
Please.
So, I have a little bit of a nightmare story when it comes to my career. So, in December 2013, U.S. Speed Skating decided to have our U.S. Olympic trials live prime time on NBC.
Okay.
It was the first time they decided to do that. So it was kind of a big deal.
Yep.
It was my first Olympic trials that I was, favorited to make the team.
Okay.
I had two shots. I had the 500, which was my second best race by a decent amount, but we had a little bit less competition in the U.S.
Got it.
So I had a good shot of making it, but not guaranteed or anything like that.
Sure.
And then the 1,000 meter, which is my best race, that was the race I was really, hoping to make it in.
Yeah.
So the 500 was first. It was the first or second race of the competition. It was my first race of the competition.
Got it.
And the way the 500 works is you do one race in the inner lane and then one race in the outer lane, and they average the two times together. And whoever the top athletes are, those are the ones that make the team.
Got it.
So I go out and skate my first race, and it's decent, but it wasn't good enough to make the team. I was probably 5th or 6th that day.
Okay.
It was only top 4, I believe.
Got it.
So I go downstairs. We have about a 2-hour break,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kind of decompress, and I'm just like, all right, well, if you're gonna make this team, you need to skate faster. You can't do that again.
Yeah.
So I go downstairs, I mentally get prepared, resharpen my skates, kind of go through my normal routine, go back up there, and I skate the race of my life.
Oh, nice.
I think I skated 0.3 of a second faster the second time around, which is huge, because the race is only 34 seconds.
Yeah,
It's a very fast race.
Yeah.
So I basically made the team, right?
Right.
I make the Olympic team. My coach is freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm like, I wasn't really freaking out. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
In a way. I was super happy, and maybe about 5-10 minutes after my race, my coach comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, are you wearing your transponders?" And immediately I was like, "No, I'm not." So we wear transponders. It's the third timing device. It's just kind of like these little computer chips on a Velcro strap, and you put them around your ankles. You have one on each ankle.
Got it.
At the time, we wore them, but not like every single competition.
Gotcha.
But that being said, I should have known better. But I was just so focused on the race that I took them off after the first race and then kind of put them underneath my bench in the locker room, in the national team locker room.
Yeah.
And I just was so focused on skating well that I just totally forgot to put them back on. So the rules at the time basically said if you don't wear your transponder, you're disqualified.
Oh man.
So the reason that they thought that I made the team is because like I said, the transponder is the third timing device.
Got it.
So they had two timing, and it's basically the only way they ever use it is if the first two timing systems don't work. So there's a beam time, which is the most accurate, which is why it's number 1.
Yeah.
And there's photo finish, which is also extremely accurate, which is why it's number 2.
Got it.
And I had a time through both of those.
Yeah.
They didn't realize until after they went back and checked to make sure I had timing devices in all of the timing devices. So I basically went from making the Olympic team, my first Olympic team, which I've worked so hard for, to not.
I think I remember this.
Yeah, and Matt and Crystal were there for that.
Really?
Yeah.
And then what year was this?
This was 2013, so this is...
I think I remember this.
This was like a month and a half before Sochi.
Wow.
So I get off the ice, and surprisingly, I'm not super bummed.
Okay. Is it here in Utah?
Yeah. And even though this is a nightmare story, this is... I would not have traded this situation for anything.
Gotcha.
I think is one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because up until that day... I felt like I had, not just to myself, but I felt more than just myself, I felt like I had to prove to everybody else that I was good enough to be an Olympic athlete or go to the Olympics.
Right.
And after that moment, after I made the team and then didn't make the team,
disqualified.
I realized in that moment that I didn't need that label. I didn't need that, that label of being an Olympic athlete.
You knew you were
I
good
knew
enough.
I knew I was good enough.
Yep.
It didn't matter what. Nobody could take away the
Yep.
race I skated. I skated the race. I did what I needed to do
Yep.
to make the team.
Yep.
So in my mind, I knew I had the 1,000 meter, my best race the next day. In my mind, I just was surprising. I stayed pretty positive.
That's good.
I said,
Yeah.
if I'm skating this good in the 500, I'm going to skate even better tomorrow on the 1,000.
Yeah.
So coming back to the reason I started skating, Dan Jansen.
Yeah.
He was the color commentator for
Oh, no way.
NBC that Olympic trials.
Yeah.
So I had never met him,
Oh, wow.
even up until that point.
Holy cow.
So he came down from the booth before the next day in the 1,000. I'm stretching and warming up. He's like, "Hey, I'm Dan Jansen. I used to speed skate," and that's how he introduced himself. I used to speed skate. Not that he was a world record holder on the
Right.
medal, like
Right.
super humble guy.
On the weekends, I'd speed
Yeah, I
skate.
used to speed skate. And he's like, "I think you're skating really well. If you just keep doing what you're doing, you'll make the Olympic team." And I just kind of looked at him like, "Yeah, dude, I know you are." I started skating because of you. So next day, I get out there, have a good warm up, felt really good, and then right before the race, I did 2 practice starts. That was kind of the weakest part of my race.
Yeah.
I tripped on both of them. Like I didn't fall,
Yeah.
but I kind of stumbled a little
Got
bit.
it.
And in my mind, I was just like, I can't believe this is
Yeah.
happening right now. I was
Right.
like, just go out there and skate. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Ended up skating in the new best race of my life.
No way.
I made the Olympic team. And yeah, so that was kind of my nightmare story. But like I said, I learned so much about myself
Yeah.
and not having to worry about proving to other people
Yeah.
to get that, that sense of accomplishment or, that label that
Yeah.
other people want to bestow upon you.
Right.
That I knew that I was good enough with or without that team.
Yep.
And it didn't matter about the results and not being so results oriented, being more about who did you become in this process.
Yeah.
Because I didn't change.
Right.
I wasn't any better of a person once I made that Olympic team.
Right.
I was the same person regardless if I made that Olympic team or I didn't.
Right.
So that was a hard way to learn it.
Yeah.
But I learned that lesson, and luckily it didn't really change the course of anything
Yeah.
by being disqualified. And now, U.S. Speed Skating has changed that rule. So if somebody does that again, they will get disqualified, but they will still be on the Olympic team.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and it should be that way.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's a selection process,
Yeah.
so you should want to send your best team, not your best team based off of technicality.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Did they make that change right after your race?
It wasn't right after. It was like, so the rules are very, it's kind of set in stone. So
Yeah.
I think it happened the next year after the board meeting.
Got it.
So they have board meetings to kind of go over all the rules and regulations.
Yeah.
And I think they realized, like, man, this could have been not good. I mean, think about if you had I wasn't the best athlete at the time,
Yeah.
But think about you have somebody who's won every single race.
Yeah.
At World Cups, World Championships, is the world record holder, world
Right.
champion, and that happens to them, and you're going to tell them, "Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
you're not going to the Olympics, even
Right.
though you did what you needed to do." Like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of silly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So they changed the rule, I think, that summer, so 2014, the summer of 2014. So they
Got
changed
it.
Yeah.
Do they still ask that the athletes wear that thing on
Yeah,
their-
yeah. So the transponders now are every single race.
Got it.
So now we wear them, or they wear them every single time. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a lot more ingrained in them.
Got it. Oh yeah. It's like putting on a skate now.
And then also too, the coaches will also check, because we wear like spandex, right? So
Yeah.
you can totally see if somebody has them on or they don't. Even though we put them underneath our uniform,
Yeah.
our skin suit,
Yeah.
you can totally see because there's like a little bump
Got it.
if they have them on or not. So
Got it. Got it.
yeah.
Wow, yeah, definitely a nightmare story that, like you said, there was a lot of lessons that were learned that were very beneficial. And what I loved about the lesson is that, I'm a huge believer on, we grow up caring what other people think.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I don't know how, like, I'm trying to think back. I don't know if, my parents never told me you should care what people think, right? Like, that's never told to you, but
Yeah.
you just somehow get that in your brain. And
It's kind of like a form of acceptance. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, these people have accepted me now because they've said this.
right,
Or they believe this, or they think I'm this good, or
right.
and I kind of another way I kind of stepped back. There was a lot of people in that Olympic trials that obviously didn't make that team that I had a lot of respect for.
Yeah,
And I was like, well, do I look at this guy any differently
Right.
because he didn't make the Olympic team?
true, exactly.
Like if I had my own company,
Yeah.
I'd hire him first before I hired some of the people that were on the Olympic team.
Right.
Because making the Olympics doesn't change who you are.
Right.
you know, it's the journey to get there who makes you
Exactly.
who you are, and
Yeah.
that's the most important part.
I totally agree.
So.
I love it. I love that. Yeah, you don't, because I like I said, I believe that too. Like I don't. There was a time, obviously, when I did, but I don't care what people think anymore, right? I don't know if I ever told you. So he just to refer back to Nat and Crystal, he referenced them. Nat Borchers is who he was referring to, and Nat Borchers' wife. Nat Borchers, for those of you may already know, he was on the Real Salt Lake team. He won the championship with Real Salt Lake soccer team. Got traded to Portland, then won it over there, and now he's the commentator for the Portland Timbers.
Yep.
But you know, so my dad sent me to go to school at 18. I wanted to go to the University of Utah and try out for the football team, but he says, no, you're going to go to London, England, and learn how to do hair. And so for my first 20 years of my career, I was a hairstylist in New York City, and so I moved back, and I was watching a Real Salt Lake game. Nat had invited me and my wife, and we got tickets, and we were sitting there, and I was 39 at the time, and I was like bummed that I kind of missed, because I was like feeling that atmosphere. I was like, oh man, I missed my chance to see if I could have played. You know, I'm not saying I would have made the team, but I would have liked to have tried to play for the U of U. So I researched what's the age limit, and because I never went to college, because my dad sent me to England right after high school, there is no age limit. So I hired John Manson, who played for the U of U and then the Oakland Raiders. For 2 years, I trained to try and play for the U of U at the age of 41. I would have been the oldest collegiate football athlete at a Division I school if I would have made the team. Long story short, I've told this story before on the show, so I won't go into it, but the NCAA rejected my eligibility. So I didn't even get to try out.
Oh, wow.
Right? But I remember when I was doing that, a lot of my buddies were like, I was 40. And they're like, dude, like, you're 40. Why are you committing 2 years of your life? I train twice a day. They're like, why are you committing all this time to something that's like almost impossible? And I was like, dude, I don't care what you think. I'm going to try, right? And I stopped caring what people think and started doing what I think I wanted to do, right?
It's so freeing, right?
It's so freeing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
And happy birthday, Crystal. It's her birthday.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that on Facebook this morning. Happy birthday, Crystal.